We've been talking about relationships between organisms, and mainly those are called symbiotic relationships. So we're going to start on your notebook page 26. So I'll give you a second to open notebook page 26 so that you can take notes if you want, add to your notebook pages, or have them available to ask questions. So open your notebook to page 26. All right. First, our important term that we're going to look at today is symbiotic relationships, and that is organisms living together resulting in at least one of them benefiting from the other, right? So lots of different relationships. What this says is that species have many different types of interactions with each other. Some help both species, some help one species, and some can be negative for one or both of the species. Interactions between species are needed to maintain balance and ecosystem health. Symbiosis means to live together and happens when two species have a relationship with each other. The different types of relationships are parasitism, say it with me, parasitism, commensalism, say it with me, commensalism, mutualism, say it with me, mutualism, predation, say it with me, predation, and competition, say it with me, competition. So an example, so parasitism, let's look at that definition together. It's an interaction that harms one species and benefits the other species. So looking at your science notebook, you'll have an idea or have some more ideas to add to your examples. A parasite lives on or in a host organism. One of the examples are tarantula wasps. They lay eggs in tarantulas. The wasp benefit because the larvae eat the tarantula's tissues, killing the tarantula. So not a very good idea for the two to interact, at least not for the tarantula, okay? Commensalism is an interaction that benefits one species and does not affect the other at all, like not at all. So the example here is cattle egrets, you know, those birds that kind of end up near cows. The cows stir up insects that were resting in the grass. The egrets benefit because the cows help them find food. The cows are not benefited or harmed by the egrets. Mutualism. Mutualism is an interaction where both species benefit each other. The example here are bees and flowers. They have a mutualistic relationship. The flowers need bees to pollinate them, and bees need flowers to make honey for their hives. Predation. One species stalks, kills, and eats another, simply eats another when finding it. Herbivores prey on plants. One of our examples was like a cow eating grass, but it could be anything you can think of eating grass, okay? Competition. This is what happens that harms both species when they're competing for a limited resource, whether it be food or space or shelter or a mate. These are things that species compete for. And this can happen with the same species or different species. So here's an example. Hyenas chase away vultures that are trying to eat the remains of the same zebra. So they're really fighting for the same food. All right, let me ask you some questions, and I'm going to ask you to really think about them and participate. So here's the first question. All right, let's look at number 1. Parasites rarely kill their host immediately. Instead, they keep them living as long as needed. The most effective parasites never actually kill their hosts, though they may weaken them significantly. Explain why parasites would not want to kill their host immediately. I'm going to pause the video, see if you can think of an answer. Okay, so as long as the host is living, the parasite will have a source of food or nutrients, right? So the longer that the host lives, the longer the parasite can survive. So they want to keep their host alive as long as possible because it's like keeping your food as good as possible, right? All right, let's look at number 2. The tapeworm is a species of worm that lives in the small intestines of mammals, including humans. Yes, tapeworms live in humans. The tapeworm latches onto the wall of the small intestine and uses nutrients from the mammal's digestive tract. This can cause severe loss of nutrients, weakness, and weight loss for the mammal. I'm going to pause it. What do you think? Is this parasitism, mutualism, commensalism, predation, or competition? Hold up your finger if you think it is, hold up your hand if you think it's mutualism. Hold up your hand if you think it's parasitism. Hold up your hand if you think it's commensalism. Hold up your hand if you think it's predation. Okay, so the answer is parasitism. The tapeworm benefits, but the mammal does not. Okay, because the mammal that the tapeworm is in loses its energy and nutrients. Let's try number 3. A type of bacteria lives in the roots of plants. The bacteria helps the plants obtain nutrients. The roots are a moist home which helps the bacteria grow and reproduce. Hold up your hand if you think it's mutualism, parasitism, commensalism, predation. It is mutualism. The tree and the bacteria both benefit, both happy. Okay, let's look at number 4. A fox grabs a dead rabbit, just as a hawk swoops down to grab it. They both pull on the squirrel, but the flapping wings of the hawk against the face of the fox are strong enough to make the fox drop the squirrel. So now I'm going to ask you, is this parasitism, commensalism, predation, or competition? Is this an example of parasitism, commensalism, predation, or competition? If you said competition, you are right. Both the fox and the hawk are competing for food, which is a limited resource. All right. Number 5, we'll try this one. The walleye is a carnivore. I'm going to scoot this up a minute. The walleye is a carnivore with low light vision and sensitivity to bright light. So they usually feed in a shallow water at dawn and dusk. Walleye are fish eaters and prefer yellow perch, which cannot see as well as the walleye. All right, so is this mutualism or predation? So we're looking at the walleye and the perch. If you think it's mutualism, 1 finger. If you think it's predation, 2 fingers. Okay, this is predation. The walleye definitely hunts and eats the perch. Okay? All right, last one. This is number 6. A tick hitchhikes on the back of a deer. The tick is receiving food and a place to stay while sucking blood from the deer, which is beneficial for the tick, but the complete opposite for the deer. All right, is this parasitism or mutualism? Parasitism, 1 finger. Mutualism, 2 fingers. It is parasitism. So gold star if you guessed that one. All right. So I am going to do number 8, which is a really good one. I like this one a lot. The wolf makes a kill, eats what she wants, and leaves the rest for the opossum. Is this mutualism or is it predation? Mutualism, 1 finger. Predation, 2 fingers. Or commensalism, 3 fingers. Mutualism, commensalism. Sorry, I'm messing this up. Mutualism, predation, commensalism. Mutualism, predation, commensalism. These are big words. You should be practicing these every night. All right, this is commensalism because the opossum benefits from the leftovers that the wolf left, but the wolf doesn't really, it's not harmed or benefited in any way. The wolf got what the wolf needed, the opossum got what the opossum needed, but neither of them really interacted and neither of them were affected either way in their physical being. All right, today you're going to do a lab in which you are a species and you're going to act in a certain way, and we're going to look at all of these together. We're going to look at mutualism, parasitism, commensalism, predation, and competition. So make sure you're following the directions for the lab. If you're not here today, you're excused from the lab, but please take a look at it because it's kind of fun. All right. Have an amazing afternoon. We will talk to you soon.